Good morning, everybody, and welcome to the Lance McHan Show. Today, my guest is Felipe Casalduc. He's a local pest control company, and I'm a local real estate agent. So today we're going to be diving into why it's so important to get a pest inspection, what a pest inspection is, and how it could save you thousands of dollars. But before we dive into that, we're going to find out a little bit about his background. Thank you for stopping in today. I appreciate you.
Thank you for having me on. I appreciate it.
I know you're busy, so we'll get right into this. So let's start with your name. That's a biblical name.
Yeah.
And so let's dive into that a little bit.
Well, about 2008, we all crashed, right? It was a crash of the market. So I went through a season of just completely losing everything. You know, we lost everything, and we were kind of in a place trying to make a decision where we were headed next. And at the time, me and my wife were making a decision like, what do we call the company? What do we make the company? And we became believers during that period of time. My wife was battling cancer.
Oh, wow.
So we ended up at church and we were praying in regards to what way to go, you know? So our biggest thing was
put it out in the universe.
Yeah,
you know?
Exactly. So we just prayed about it and we came up with the name Pentecost, and it was a biblical name for us. And it was important because we wanted to have a Christian-based company to be able to support out here. And we want to be able to drive a good company that's quality in regards to our...
So what's Pentecost mean to you?
Tongues of fire. You know, to me, it's like everything that God has provided for us in this season. You know, it's just like we are talking about where we're headed, where we're going, dreams, everything that we're all striving for. And realistically, that's what it means to me, because it's not just the name, it's what God's doing for us. So
nice.
Yeah.
I like that, man. It's got to have a meaning, man. Yeah. You know, it's got to have some substance to it.
For sure. It's always about the positive part of it. You know, what are we doing? Where are we taking it? Where are we headed? We all are trying to achieve goals and dreams of what we're trying to get at. So
how did you get started in the bug business? I mean, you know, but before we go into that, people think a pest inspection is about bugs, but there's
so much more.
It's so much more than just the bugs, the termites. What's a pest inspection when you're buying a home or selling a home? What's that?
The biggest part comes down to, in regards to a pest inspection, is that we're checking. It's to me, I tell people it's like doing an oil change on your vehicle. If you're taking the time to check your vehicle, why aren't you checking your biggest investment, which is your house? You know what I'm saying?
The largest investment most people will ever make.
Correct. And I see so many people never check their roofs, never do a termite inspection, never do anything other than I'll just keep living here and just paint and not continue to maintain the structure.
paint over it. But a pest inspection, it's bugs, and it's also funguses and
dry rot.
Dry rot.
So a little bit about our pest inspections. What we do is we come out, if it's a real estate transaction, normally this is when we go for a full inspection, is we'll go ahead and look into any dry rot, any decay of fungus, any termites, any water leaks, showers that are leaking, everything that's going on the property to prevent the property from having damage.
Sometimes people don't know their shower's leaking because it's leaking behind the wall. And how many homeowners crawl under their house once a year?
None. It's so hard, you know. It's one of those things is you put it on the back burner all the time. Mm-hmm. But what we do is we fill up the dam about 2 inches, and then we can water test the actual tile pan to make sure that they're not leaking. And a lot of the times homeowners will not know that until they actually get it tested. And that situation is where it starts to leak. You get fungus, you can get mildew, all kinds of different things.
Especially in a purchase.
For sure.
You're buying a home. The homeowner honestly doesn't know that it's leaking. And you go in and test the pan and the valves and everything, and you see it leaking. So you know automatically there's a hot spot there. You need to go check it out.
For sure.
And so I've had instances where people buying a home and they got a brand new remodeled bathroom out of the deal.
Yeah, exactly. Exactly.
You know, the crazy thing is they were mad because they thought, not you, but the other inspector was killing their deal.
Yep.
I'm like, you're you have that in the wrong frame. He just saved you thousands of dollars.
Correct.
Or he stopped you from buying a bad house.
Correct. And I tell people a lot of the times is like, get your inspections, enjoy that bathroom before you move out instead of giving it to somebody brand new.
Yeah, right?
Yeah.
I know, because at some point in time, you might be able to have insurance, help cover some of the costs.
Correct.
So what made you get into the bug business?
Well, I was going.
What's bugging you?
Honestly, I was broke, going to college, and I was actually becoming an airplane mechanic at the time. And one of my friends at the time decided to tell me about, hey, you can come and work at this pest control company. What do you think? And I was like, sure.
Do I get an arm thrown out of my back out of this deal? Like,
it's one of those things, It's not like it was not my dream to become a pest guy. You know what I'm saying? It was one of those things that you just like fell into. And when I fell into it, I was doing very well at what I was doing in the pest business.
So did you own your own company? Did you start as your own company?
No, I started actually with Clark Pest Control.
Oh, no way.
And I started with Clark and ended up from there branching out and starting a company with a partner. That didn't work out. And then I opened up Pentecost with my wife at the time.
After the market crashed?
After the market crashed. So we tried.
I can't imagine. What were you thinking? There was no real estate going on in 2008. Yeah. I was a real estate appraiser at that moment, and the market just had evaporated.
Correct.
I mean, overnight.
Well, we were building custom homes at that time too, and the whole custom homes went away. And then you wake up one morning and you go, what am I going to do next? So
yeah, I know that feeling. I'm just like, wow, what happened?
Yep.
Like, and it was sudden too. A few people I think knew what was coming down the line, but we were all oblivious to it.
Correct.
We were just like, we got a feeling, but we're just going to push through it.
Yep.
I was trying to push through it. It just didn't hit that wall. Boom! There was nothing left.
It was like when we were having lunch, we talked about it actually humbled us and it made us better business people by going through that transition.
Absolutely.
Because we're more about saving and making sure that we put things away.
I don't need that new car.
So, we don't need that new car. That's not what it's about anymore. Mm-hmm. So
it's about quality service.
Correct. And making you
people don't care what kind of car you drive.
No. Longevity.
Yeah.
We want to be around for a long time.
They see you got a car that's got 300,000 miles on it. They're like, that guy knows how to take care of things.
Yep.
He's going to take care of my house.
Exactly.
So from 2008, you started your business after the market crash. Would that look like?
Well, number one, it was rough. I ain't gonna lie to you. It was one of those things you just learn and like, okay, you're struggling through trying to figure out how you're gonna do the change, and that was pretty rough. But my biggest thing comes down to is if you have a will and a way, you're gonna make your way. You know what I'm saying? And I think that. You wake up in the morning and you go, I gotta go get it. I got a family to feed. You can't just sit there and wait. You
can't wait for the deal to fall in your lap.
Nope. So I ended up every morning, and I started with one little truck by myself, and I just started doing one account at a time, and before I knew it, I had a full service route, and then I ended up opening up the termite side, and it just continued to grow from there. It just has become a pretty big monster now.
Yeah, I know. I love it.
So,
you actually saved my butt on a deal here recently. You guys came through working Saturday and Sunday, and I just want to say publicly thank you.
You're welcome. You're welcome.
It's not really you saved me, you saved my client because he was going through some hard times and facing foreclosure, and you were able to get it done. Thank you.
I appreciate it.
No, I appreciate it. So does he.
The business is, and that's what I really believe about business. Lance, it's not a one-way street. Only when I get it comes down to is how do we continue to keep relationships alive, and that's why I believe we're successful in what we're doing is about making the relationship right, and not just making a situation and not just one deal, but the relationship long term. And I look at a long term relationship when I have a client. I don't look at a client like it's just for today. So
I like that.
Yeah.
Me too.
Yeah.
Like they become family.
Yeah.
Like
you want to build that family relationship. I think that's the biggest part for me.
Yeah. It's hard not to care for your clients when, for me, I'm with them for, sometimes a 30-day transaction. And I'm talking to them every day. Or this one was almost a 3-month transaction because it was alive and then dead and alive and dead. And we, at that last moment, I was literally pushing it, dragging it down the street. Like, let's get this going. This is resuscitating. Going there at 8:00 at night, having them sign docs. Those little things. Let's talk about some of the. I'm sure you've seen tons of bad jobs gone or good jobs gone bad, or however you want to phrase that. What are some of the nightmares you've seen that you've had to come in, and any one stick out to your psyche the most? Like, this was
there's so many that I've done. In regards to termites, you're thinking?
Yeah. Whatever, this is your spotlight. We're talking about you.
We had one situation where we ended up opening up a wall, and we're thinking the termites are done in that wall. So we get to the other side of the wall. We open up a piece of sheetrock, and there's more damage. And before we know it, we're pulling sheetrock around the whole place. The whole house was had infestation. And this was a property that was built early in probably 1904, and they just let it go. They just
owners lived there for many years.
Many years. They just pretty much didn't want to do anything to the property. Old farmhouse, just continues. The dirt was built up. Gophers had gotten underneath it and just completely destroyed the property. So we just dealt with a lot of situations like that where people are not doing the maintenance, and the maintenance is what reality. It's just like I tell people, you don't change your oil in your car, you don't do an inspection on your house, you're going to have these issues. It's going to happen.
Yeah. And it is, we have to stress, it's the biggest investment you'll make in your life.
Correct.
Why would you not spend
$75?
Well, the $75 inspection fee.
Yeah.
But I'm thinking if you paid $300,000 for your house, why would you not be willing to invest 1% of that a year?
Correct.
To maintenance and upkeep?
Well, think about your vehicle. How much is your oil change on your vehicle?
Well, it's $25, $30.
Okay.
It's not bad.
But you have a $300,000 investment for $75 and you're not doing that inspection?
I hear you.
I just don't get it. Or actually pay for a roof inspection, $50. Have somebody go out, check your roof.
But you do a 3-point inspection.
Correct.
So you do
home
inspection.
Yep.
So you go through the whole house.
Yep. And we'll do the roof, and we'll do a termite inspection. And what we do is we check electrical, plumbing, any situations that are going through the structure. We're wanting to make sure that the roof is in a watertight condition, so you're not having leaks inside the structure. And then we're going through the home inspection, making sure your heating, any of your venting is correct. Some people get underneath their house and crawl their house, and the vents are disconnected, and you're just pumping air into the bottom of your house. How many times do you get that on an inspection?
Yeah, I've seen that more than once. Okay. You walk in, there's it's got a little basement. You walk in, the main return is
it's just disconnected.
It's like sucking air. You're just heating the basement up or cooling it off. One of the two.
It's like if you want to spend that money, and this is the situation that we're trying to tell you is like, how do we protect you from saving money and also protecting your biggest investment?
I think the biggest probably concern people are like, they're always going to find something wrong.
Yeah.
They're always going to find something. Yeah. Well, it's your job to find something wrong and to report it to you.
Correct.
It's up to you whether you want to take the initiative to spend the money to fix it or leave it to deteriorate even further from that point on.
Correct. And I tell people all the time, like, why are you not even taking the time to inspect your property? Because it's impossible. Things are wearing out on your property all the time. It's like valves.
Like what?
Valves are leaking. Faucets are going out. The drains start to leak. Underneath, the plumbing sometimes gets old. And a lot of the properties, they have old cast iron piping. Some of them have galvanized. And then the galvanized piping was originally didn't have a garbage disposal. If you remember early on.
Yeah.
So the galvanized pipes, they start to run food through them. And now the galvanized pipes start to actually crumble. And what's going on is a lot of these people don't understand that.
That's a huge one.
Correct.
Because, and I've seen this.
Yeah.
The kitchen sink.
Yeah.
The main line's over there.
Yeah.
The line going from the kitchen sink to the main line is completely rotted out, the bottom half of it.
Correct.
And it's just dumping all the dishwasher,
everything,
which homes didn't have dishwashers back then.
Nope.
And the garbage disposal, everything it's disgusting underneath there.
Correct. And we have to crawl in there.
Better you than me.
For $75. Yeah. And sometimes people go, that's expensive. I'm like, well, I like to see you crawl underneath there.
Your guy he come out cussing on that one job. He wasn't that bad, but there's just a lot of things in there. He had to crawl over and under and just get it done. And so I appreciate that. So let's talk about the roof inspection. You do the roof inspections?
I have two. Actually, I have 3 companies that I use.
Okay.
We sub it out to them. We want a secondary party looking at the roof, and we want to protect our clients that it is a roofing licensed contractor that's going out to look at the property. So we want to make sure that that's the right people doing the job. So
gotcha. The professional.
Yes.
Because your profession is
termite. And dry rot and water leaks and we're trying to foundations, and we look at everything that's we get hired for is we're looking at anything that wood destroying, and that's what we're there to make sure that the property is. A lot of times people ask us, why aren't you looking at the rodents, and why aren't you looking at the rats and the cockroaches? And I explain to them, it's not a wood destroying organism that we're looking at when it's that. Okay. So when we come out on an inspection, sometimes they're expecting us to look for those things also, but it's a separate part of the business. So we're not allowed to bring that out.
Okay.
Because
unless
our client asks us.
Okay.
You understand?
Okay, I got you. So if I call you and say, hey, I want you to go do a pest inspection, you're only looking for the wood destroying part, the fungus and the termites.
Correct. A lot of the times people think, well, you're looking for rats, for the cockroaches and all that. Well, it's not wood destroying. It's not in the same license.
Right.
We have 2 licenses. And one is the branch 3, which is for the wood destroying. There's a second license.
You have to put on the other hat and go do another inspection.
Yeah, exactly. It's 2 different.
To keep it separate, to keep it legal.
Well, the state did that. So you're not allowed to cross over because it's a different situation. You're getting hired for one thing. You can't. You want to make sure that your client is asking for that.
So when you get a pest inspection, does it go anywhere?
Yes, this goes to the state.
Okay.
All of our reports go to the state. We actually file with the state.
So I don't think a lot of people know that.
And actually, it's public record. So if you've had an inspection on your property, it is a public record. They can call the state and pull the records. So you can't hide that from anybody.
That's interesting because I didn't know that.
Yeah. So
2 things I learned today.
Yeah.
So somebody who was doing research, they call them like, hey, has there been a pest inspection done in the past? How far back they go?
I believe it's 3 years that they're having right now. So and just the records, you got to keep your records for 3 years, and then at that point, if it's past 3 years, you're probably not going to get it. So if it's something within the last 3 years, they have records to be able to get to you. And what happens is...
So is it just does it also show repairs done?
It shows you the completions. It shows you the re-inspections. It shows you any supplementals.
Okay.
The original report, what was done on the property. And if the property has changed hands, you can see all... It's just like you pulling one of your deeds and seeing who's owned the properties and all of that. It's the same situation is what we have. That's why we are licensed by the state. Yeah, it's not. People go, well, why do you guys charge and all of this? I'm like, we have to still pay the state for our inspections. We get charged for each inspection. So that's why when they
Thank you, California.
Yeah.
We're trying to protect the consumers here. You're charging us.
Yeah. So we just we have to pay every time we submit an actual report. So,
that's good to know. And then you put the little sticker.
Yep.
Where's that go? Because I've seen it like in garages. I've seen it in the crawl spaces. I've seen it in attics.
We put them in the garages. We put them in the attics. We put them everywhere, depending on where we put on our report. Our report will document exactly where it's at.
Okay.
So our report has a little area where it says tagged. And then you'll see garage, laundry room, wherever your closet, wherever you want to, decide to put it. So you can put it at different locations. So
learn all kinds of stuff today, man. Thank you.
It's what it's about.
That's good. So let's talk a little bit about the chemicals for termites. There's people who don't mind the old-fashioned chemicals, and then there's the new green-friendly termite control. You have an opinion on that?
My opinion, number one, chemical is chemical. I tell people that if you're green or you're not green, there's some type of chemical in there. Yeah. It's made with a chemical. The impossibility to get complete everything off a chemical, it's not true. Because we have green materials that we can use, but they're not completely chemical free. And I explain that to clients.
Even the orange citrus is a derivative of orange. It's a chemical of the orange.
Correct. And so I tell people it might not have an effect to you, but there is a chemical that is how it was made, and a lot of the time there's a lot of materials out there that we can get that are
more environmentally friendly than they were years ago.
Correct. And then we have some that are completely from earth, rock, that have been ground up. Like Timbor is a product that we use. That's actually a rock.
Really?
Yeah, it's a quarry rock. And what they've done, they've crushed it and it's become a crystallized rock. And then when you're spraying it, it comes into a powder and then it crystallizes on the wood. So what it does, it penetrates the wood about to 2 inches.
Okay.
And it starts to prevent the termites from being able to eat it. That's Timbor. That's a product.
So it hardens the wood, or it makes it sharp. So because termites are real soft. If nobody's ever
it's almost it puts crystals into the actual wood, and so when the termites go by, it cuts them. Yes, and because they have they're like snakes. They continue to release their skin.
Okay.
When they're moving along, so they're constantly in that stage. So it's one of those things that they're constantly moving and they're going back and forth into the wood to eat the wood. So when we're applying it into that wood, it will stop that from happening. So,
wow, 2 inches. That's pretty good. That's a pretty good.
It's good penetration.
And it's natural.
Yes.
It won't make you grow third
eye
or nothing.
It's a natural product. It's still a chemical. I tell people it's not.
Because they got to have something to help it penetrate into the wood.
Correct.
What do you think about the orange oil? Because I remember hearing that a few years ago all over the radio. It was crazy. Like every time you turn on the radio, you were hearing orange oil.
I'm not big on orange oil. I don't believe it works because unless you have the chemical of orange oil directly on the termite, it's not going to kill it completely.
Okay.
And so one of the things is I recommend Timbor. We use Termidor. Those are the two products that we're really hot about in our termite industry. And the reason we use those two products are the best in the industry right now.
Yeah, Termidor is Fipronil.
Fipronil.
Yeah, and for people who don't know what that is, Frontline Advantage is all a form of Fipronil. So
it's one of those products that's amazing. It's just it's cutting edge,
super safe. Yeah, I mean you're putting it on your dog and cat.
And
you pet your dog and cat. So.
Correct. And I tell people that same situation. No chemical is safe, 100%. And I tell that to people, but it would have to be a large amount of sumps that you would have to consume to be able to get sick of that. So I recommend it that you have a licensed company when they are applying to the property, and that they know what they're doing and that they're mixing correctly.
Right.
Because the mixture is everything too.
Too weak, it's not going to do anything. Too strong.
Yeah, you want to make sure that chemical is holding up. And we're giving a 5-year warranty with Termidor, which is an amazing warranty once we're applying it.
So how does that product work? Like, what is the mode of action of Termidor?
Termidor, what it does is once you apply it into the ground, you actually trench around the actual foundation and all the piers. What happens is they start to, it's a slow active, and we'll get this phone call a lot. Well, we still have the termites moving. And I said,
That's
I understand.
a good thing.
And I said, after you've treated, but they expect us to have the termites gone now.
Right.
You know, it's all of us. You know, we want now. So by this product,
you don't say America's wanting stuff right now.
But it's like I explained to people. It's like termites are very smart. People think, you know, okay, it's a bug, whatever. No, they're very smart. So when they start to feel stress, they'll put barriers in the area to stop the other termites from going there.
Oh, wow.
So they actually will start to make sure. And how that happens is like if you went into a restaurant and you saw a bunch of dead people in the front, you gonna walk in?
Yeah, no.
No. Okay. So the same thing with the termites. They start to protect. So what happens is the slow active ingredient they actually lick each other as they're going back and forth.
Oh, really?
And when they're going back and forth with each other, they start to spread the chemical through themselves.
So it's like a virus.
Correct.
So they're contaminating the whole.
Yep.
The whole, what is it called? What's it called?
The colony.
Colony,
yeah.
Okay.
And the colonies. And most properties, a standard lot has 7 colonies on it. Did you know that?
Damn, I got termites.
Yeah. Most standard. It doesn't mean that they're at your house, but most properties have 7 colonies on one property.
Wow.
And it's not when, it's not right now, but when it's going to happen. It might not be, you might live in this house for 10 years and never touch you. Mm-hmm. You might move to your next one, another 10 years and might never touch you. But some people have the luck of the draw. Every property they got has the termites, you know?
Before I got into real estate, I was doing some, when the market had crashed, so I was doing odd jobs and I was crawling under a house looking for a leak because I could hear it. Behind the wall, but I didn't know exactly where it was. So I was crawling in the house, and this column was about the size of a baseball all the way up to the wooden pier.
Wow.
They had built this thing, and I told the homeowner, I was like, I've never seen anything like this. You have this huge colony of termites.
Yeah, it's crazy.
And they didn't believe me.
No.
Some little old ladies, and they were like, I was like, no. I had to go back under there and take pictures. She's like, we have a pest company come out here. I'm like, well, you need to fire them because they're not doing their job. Yeah. And so, because I knocked it down a little bit and I could see them traveling. It was like a freeway. They were just eating that house away.
Yesterday, I finished a presentation and one of my clients goes, hey, I need you to run to this property real quick. I want you to look what's coming out of this floor. And so we went over there, the hardwood floor. It's a house built in 1914 and it's in Tracy. And there's tubes coming out of the subfloor and hardwood floor. Right when you open the door, you can see the tubes coming up.
Wow.
And there's tunnels coming up. And he goes, I've never seen something like that.
That's same, I was going to say, the hardwood floor had the tube, I guess the tubes they had eaten through the hardwood floor. And you would think that they wouldn't want the hardwood. People say, oh, they don't like hardwood or they don't like redwood.
Yeah.
But
they love it. They love anything.
They'll eat anything. Whatever is the easiest and available.
They don't like hardwoods, but they'll go through it to get to the softwoods. You know what I'm saying? So it's one of those things that you have to just wait and see what's going to happen, And inspections are so important. That's the whole reason we're having this conversation is like, how do we protect our assets?
Right.
So... And I think inspections is everything,
How often do you recommend somebody getting?
Once a year.
Once a year.
Yeah. If you're really wanting to be on top of your property, if you're okay with twice a year, every other year, that's fine.
Get it done. That's the main thing.
Yeah, get it done. It doesn't matter. It's not too late. It's worth knowing what you're up against. You can save up and make it happen. And at least you know what you got going on instead of waiting till you put your foot through the floor, which
have you seen that?
We've walked into some property sometimes, doing real estate. Yeah.
You're like, don't walk there.
Yeah. I had one the other day, the carpet, and I was walking on it and I put my foot down and you could just feel the squishiness of the floor. And I'm like, this has so much problems. So, yeah.
I don't even know where to begin.
Nope.
Let me go grab my suit.
Yeah. Let's look to see what's going on underneath here. So,
So how do people find you? How do they get a hold of you?
We're actually on the website. We have our website also.
I'll put that up here.
It's Pentecost Pest Control at Gmail. And that's how you can reach out with me. And my phone number is 209-996-1420. My office number is 581-5562.
So you just gave out your cell number?
Yeah. All my clients have it. That's how I work.
That's impressive.
Yeah. I still do business that way. I still believe that my clients should be able to reach me. Never too big to have that client, have that relationship. To me, it's
most people like, I'm calling my office.
I don't want to. I still want those phone calls. I still want to hear if something didn't go right. I still have that. I care.
Sometimes that's good because I mean, I've dealt with contractors where they've sent their employees out there and they think that their employees are doing a good job.
Correct.
Like, hey, I'm just calling to let you know that this isn't right.
Correct. So
having your ear to the ground keeps your business.
It keeps me driven. Yeah. And customer service is, I really feel America has gotten away from customer service. And I think that the reason we're doing very well at our business is I want customer service. I care about my customers. And if they don't pick up the phone, how do we know how to fix it?
Yeah.
And I think that's the biggest part is being able to reach out and still say, hey, this didn't go right.
I've dropped the ball. I'm gonna make it right.
We're not perfect. And I'll be the first one. We're not a perfect company, but we'll make it right. So that's my biggest thing. So
thank you for stopping by, man. I appreciate you.
Thank you.
Have a good day.
All right. You too.
Thank you, everybody, for tuning in. And I will see you next week. And have a great day, everybody.